The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
Big Swiezo, not the little one, not the medium-sized one, not the copycat, not the clone. It's the real guy.
Hey, yo, I like that, man. That energy right there off the intro was just... I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, all right, bet we here with it, man. So, for the people that don't really know who you are, right? Like, where were you born? Where were you raised? Like, what was the childhood like for you, man?
Man, I was born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. As soon as I got out my mom's vagina, I was probably on the first bus, drive, whatever, up here.
Okay.
And I grew up PG County, Maryland, Mitchellville. Then later they introduced it to Bowie, Largo, that whole side. Just been growing up here ever since there. Like, literally whatever amount of days that you get out of your mom and you can go into the real world, we was up here.
Facts, for sure. So, like, I guess for you, right, like those games you played in your childhood, like the tag, were you a fan of tag? Were you a fan of hide and seek? You know what I'm saying? Things like that? Or just
I was
going
a
to
big,
the park?
I was just a visionary, man. I used to imagine myself in like movies and wanted to do music and just play like outside. Like I'm still from the generation that went outside and played. So football, basketball, we was just outside. Like my neighborhood, we was outside.
Nah, for sure. And like I said, I know, we ended up going to Flowers together.
Flowers.
And like, man,
the
it
Mecca.
was just the Mecca of excellence. For those people that do not know, it is the Mecca of excellence. And rest in peace to Miss Jones.
Rest in peace to Miss Jones.
Because literally, like, when I mean it's so much greatness at that school from years and years and years. It's going on 25 years now. I don't know if you know that, man. Like, it was open.
Oh, 2000.
It was open in 2000, and now it's going on year 25, bro. For us to be a part of that history is amazing.
I mean, the history of Flowers in itself is just like it produced so much. It produced so many good people like you. The list goes on. You, me, Rico Nasty went there.
Yeah.
And then all the because I feel like everybody from our area is a legend. Montez,
yes.
Ziploc,
yes,
Cornbread.
Yeah, all of us were innovators and creators in our own right, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beautiful part, and the fact that it was a level of community, man. And you kind of think of the independent wave starting so early. You know
man.
What I'm saying? With Tez, man, shout out to him because I remember buying the clothes and everything like that.
In the hallway. Like,
yeah, man, like literally like hustling 101, but it was really dope to really understand the business thing, man.
Not to cut you off, the thing about Tez, which was so funny, like you said, like everybody that was in Flowers, especially the years that we were going, I just feel like ahead of their time. Like Tez was literally, some of those clothes he was literally printing himself, drawing them on them himself, and then go to find out like today he got the fuckets going on.
Wow.
It's his own headwear.
Wow.
It's really good, man. And then like every rapper that was there, and then because back then Go-Go was very prominent, but like we had a lot of rappers. I wasn't even rapping at the time in Flowers, but it was good. And honestly, like I didn't know it then, but like being one of the first content creators, I guess, like that was my wave. Like it was a pivotal point for me at Flowers, like,
right,
and just my whole life.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, for me, what I saw and just you being consistent, right? How did you fall in love with that content creation part, or where was that notion where you felt like, all right, bet, boom, I'm here now, I'm gonna just keep trying things? Because that's what I saw you really doing throughout your journey, man.
Well, let's go back to 5 years old. My grandfather bought me a camera from the thrift store, and then he was like, this is how you turn it on, this is how you do stop motion. And I just went from there with the camera work. I believe it was probably middle school. Like I was heavy on MySpace, and I was doing a lot of good videos that was doing good on MySpace. And then Flowers came, and that's when Facebook, like the first early days of Facebook. Yeah. And like the moment I signed up for Facebook, I saw that it had no videos on there. Like people wasn't really posting videos. Like you'll see stories and stuff like that. So it's spam now, but back then when I was dropping videos, you know, get tagged in. I tagged everybody. Everybody in the school, I was tagging them in the school, and then that just led to, because monetize and viral, I'm pretty sure it was a word, but that wasn't used back then.
Right.
Like YouTube couldn't monetize, Facebook couldn't monetize.
Right.
Viral was a thing. I like to say I went kind of viral back then because like I had other schools tuning in, and the biggest thing that helped me with the consistency was that Blizzard. Yeah, that Blizzard that we had. I think it was like,
I remember. Yeah,
I forgot what year that was.
Like a Snowmageddon, right?
Yeah,
something like if that.
It was like our lockdown.
Right.
It was like our lockdown because we was out of school for
like maybe 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks,
yeah,
and then
snow was heavy. I think it was around the Super Bowl time or something like that. Because I remember at least people like plowing their driveways, just trying to make sure, oh, bet I can get to the store, get what I need, X, Y, Z. And
that fucking Blizzard, bro, that it pushed me into a whole nother level of consistency because it was like couldn't go outside, and I did go outside to film, but I was like, wow. Like when I understood, you know, we used to get on Uvu, everybody from school used to get on Uvu together, and it turned into a point with my skits and stuff like that on there that people were watching that in the Blizzard like a show.
Yeah.
So I was just dropping nonstop every day of the Blizzard. Same grind. And I didn't know, like, that's the type of grind that you need now for content creation.
Nah, for sure.
So that's why I say just ahead of my time. And then it just grew into, okay, I'm doing this content thing. I'm doing this. After school, that's when 2011 was like the pivotal year where YouTube started trying to get more professional. And I never took my stuff fully to YouTube. I took about 2 things. I took a skit called Paranormal Activity over to YouTube that did pretty good. Me and another content creator that was cool, he did basically around the same thing, and it was doing pretty good. But I was in so much of Facebook that I didn't even understand like doing the YouTube thing. So that's why I missed that first wave of all that. And then I fell into some hard times, man, and then I remember selling my camera at the gas station. I was like, fuck this shit. Because, well, before I even got to there, I went to acting. I started acting. I got in trouble in elementary school, and my teacher was like, okay, you can do extracurricular. So I just did acting, and I did Treasure Island play. Then a couple of years later down the line, my 6th grade year, I auditioned for The Wiz, and I was the Scarecrow. Then, like I said, the whole time from middle school, I got into basketball things, so I was AAU heavy. So that took up a whole bunch of time. And then high school, after I didn't make the team, I needed something to do. So I went straight into that. After high school, I got more into acting. So I was like that. But we were ahead of our times then because to be on TV back then and a bigger platforms, you had to be, which is called SAG, Screen Actors Guild Union. And that was like foreign to me. Like I didn't even know how I was going to do that. The one thing, fun fact, like my last audition before I quit acting was I auditioned to be in Magic Mike, the Magic Mike movie. Oh, wow. Didn't get it, and I just quit. And I went into music because music was at a pivotal point where like it was more independence. It was like this. And I was like, I'm going to try it because like, you know, I was shooting videos for people back then too. So I knew what it took to be an artist, and I love music. So I just tried that. And then for whatever reason, God be the glory, like that blew up in a good sense in my own independent way. And that's just been what I've been doing.
Yeah, no. And like I said, I go back to the notion of you always trying things, right? Yeah. I think that right now and where we're at, like people are afraid to try. Right? Because it's like, bro, okay, if I'm comfortable with this, I'm familiar with this, I'm not willing to do X, Y, and Z. Because like I said, for me, being transparent, it's like, yeah, I was writing raps and poetry and doing that, you know, J Flow doing this, hitting the stage here and there, X, Y, and Z. And I love sports, NBA, you know, football, boxing, and all that. But this was a whole pivot for me.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, yo, now people are like, okay, this is different. Now, when did you get into the motivation and the podcast and in the community and the youth and things like that? And it's not really about how you ball. And I love how you said AAU. It's really about how you pivot.
Exactly.
How you're able to pivot to something new. How you're able to try. Because I'd be thinking about basketball at the time, and it's like, oh yeah, bet, cool. I got a crossover. I got a shot. But you know, sometimes everybody loves, you know, the hezzy, but it's like, it's a hesitant move, but you have to be confident. So it's about that pivot. And I salute you for the pivot that you made, because it's like, all right, cool. It could have been me shooting music videos. It could have been me sticking to the rap. But one thing that I knew about you and what people had saw over time is, nah, I'm not going to be in this one box.
Hell
You know
no.
what I'm saying? I'm not going to be in this one box, and I'm going to utilize all my gifts and my strengths and know when to turn them on and when to turn them off. And you did a great job of doing that, and I want to salute you for that.
I appreciate you, man.
I believe that is a skill within itself, right? So when I saw acting, and like I said, for you to do these big things, right? What really goes into like the character development, right? Because like I said, you get a gig, you know, you audition for it. What are your steps and like kind of the behind the scene things? Because I think a lot of people look at it like, oh yeah, man, it's a movie. It's cool. I can be in this joint. But what does it really take to, one, not only land a role, but to get in character? Like, what is that for you and your process?
I think the biggest thing that I had was a lot of doubters outside of the people like in high school, and like my family, my mom and them. They supported, but like everybody doubted. But also return to me not caring. And then how I kind of got popular in that era of school was like, I didn't care. Like in school, that period of my life, I did not care. And I was already just naturally a character. So like when I got introduced to like the film side of acting, it was kind of like people would just be like, looking at me as a vibe and then just put me in a role that does that. And then I fell in love with actually doing that, because like from different roles, like I never thought I'd play Jesus. I played Jesus at Evangel Cathedral for like 3 years. And I was just there, just being an extra, because I had nothing else better to do. And I was like, well, what should I do? But I just killed it. And then it's just God given, like you can't stop what's ordained. So I'm just very blessed, because I'm not, everything that I have ever done has been self-taught, never went to school for, never really had the proper teachings and mentors and guidance with none of this stuff. So it's just like, when I get in my head that I'm going to do it. And then I'm in my head, like, and I guess like when you can find out later is manifestation and all that stuff. Like I speak it and I believe it. Like I see it before it even happens. Just like when I was doing the Evangel Cathedral play, I seen the dude that they had playing Jesus like coming down from the sky, and then I was like, I want to do that. He ended up getting sick. I was there. The casting director was like, hey, do that. I did it, and I was playing it for 3 years after that.
Yes, and then I think it's also that preparation, right? Because it comes with a different level of grit. It comes with a different like mindset. Like a lot of us, when we're seeing these, you know, movies, you have the main characters, things like that. What I could definitely say to your character a lot, bro, is that you don't mind being an extra. You don't mind doing extra. So because you're doing extra, and some people may feel like it's ordinary, it's really not. And you're preparing yourself for those moments. I know when to play the back. I know when to play the front. And then when that time comes, I know what it's going to be like when them lights is on, because the shadow work is done. So I love how you said, oh, yeah, it's ordained, right? Because what God has for you is not going to miss you.
Exactly.
As long as you continue to do what it is you do. And I had the luxury of actually seeing your play. And shout out to Jimmy Jenkins.
Shout out to Jimmy, because Jimmy was a pivotal point too. Like, I used to do all his plays. I'm glad you brought up Jimmy. Back in the day after high school, I did all of his startup plays, all of his startup movies. Was in the movie when we did the premiere at Magic Johnson Theater.
Yes.
And that was the biggest thing to me at that time because it was just like, and it still is big because like I got to see myself at Magic Johnson Theater. Like I was there every weekend as a kid.
Yeah.
This is when the Boulevard was still really open.
Yeah, the Boulevard was the Boulevard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Boulevard.
It was the Boulevard. Everything was there. I remember. Yep.
So the funniest part about that, because you're talking about the new play.
Yes.
Okay, so the funniest part about that was I was sitting back and I was watching Tubi and I was like, God damn it, another thing. Because I was like, I was Tubi before Tubi, having people making these little movies, tag and all this stuff on just off the hip. Jimmy hits me. He calls me and he's just like, yeah, bro, you still acting? I was like, man, I've been trying to get back into it. He was like, okay, I got a role for you. And I think you could kill it. I think you could do it. I know you. You're going to kill it. You're going to do it. And I was like, all right, bet. He was like, you got like 3-4 days to learn the part. We already about to go into the show. I was like, all right, bet. Did it. I did that for 2 years. Soon as I came back, I was like, man, I'm back in it. Because like Jimmy, he's one of those people. He's just like you, like very motivational. I've never really seen him like he's just,
right.
Yeah. So it's just like when I came to, I didn't have to audition for him because I put in the work with him prior.
Right.
And then I was there to like really be a support because it was like he called me.
Right.
He knew what I could do.
Right.
So he
Exactly.
just brought me in. And the first day I get to the rehearsal, bro. And when Jimmy, he got this like captivating laugh that's like, because my character was funny. And I came in there and did it. And he fell out on the floor in tears, just crying, laughing. And he had pulled me to the side and he was just like, bro, like, you're meant to do this. Like, you need to get back into this and really do it. Like, he's like, the music is cool. I love it. Music is great, but like, this is what you need to do. And I was like, I feel that. That's what because that's what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be where 50 Cent at, Tyler Perry, Nick Cannon. I wanted to be that person that can be in front and have something to say on the back end of
right.
it. And soon as I got out of that play, I went over there and started making me I was like, I'm not even going to use my old resume because none of this stuff matters. It's like none of that stuff is super old. I'm coming in this like I'm a new actor.
Right.
The people that know don't. The people that don't know, they don't know. And the people that do know, they just like, okay, yeah, like he's been here before.
Right.
So my first audition, SAG, I got a SAG role.
Wow.
And the funniest part about that was I literally went to that audition. I got a call from somebody. It was like, they doing this over here. And they was like, it's for this show. And I was like, okay. And the show had like Erica Mena in it. A lot of people, bro. And I went into the audition. I was working a janitor at Charles County Public Schools at the time. I got the call and I was like, all right, I'm gonna be late to work, but I'm gonna go to this. And I went to the audition. I walk in there. I was like, I am not getting this because I go in there. Every guy looks like the typical BET guy, big buff guy, Beijing enhancements. I'm like, I'm in there, no retwist, in my janitor's clothes. I'm like, I'm going to still do it. I went in there and did it. It was like, okay, cool. And, on them level of auditions, it's like you never know what they about to say because they don't ever – they got a mean poker face. So
Right.
Like, okay, cool.
It's like I'm going to break you down, but I can't break you down.
Yeah, and they told me to audition, and this is so funny. They told me to audition for Man 1, and he, like, drove the scene. And when I got in there, they was like, do Man 2, and he only said one thing.
Wow.
And then I did Man 2. And then I get a call back, like, 5 days later. Like, you got it. I was like, SAG, bro? I was like, whoa. I was like, it spoke to... Like I said, that inner child back then when I was talking about like I didn't know even how to get to that point. Right. In my first audition back, because I ain't auditioned for the Jimmy play.
Got you.
My first audition back, I landed a SAG role.
Right.
Now, me as a man and going through so much different ups and downs, a bad thing had happened. And it wasn't that bad. It was like We about to go filming. All my dates is ready to get on the thing. I'm talking to the cast and director, sending back outfits and getting ready. I'm pumped. I'm like, it's up from here. It's up because like they gave me this role as man one.
Right.
And man one, it was like, oh, you get. I'm not SAG, so like they can give you whatever they want to pay. But I'm like, wow, I'm getting this much to say 3. Okay, let's do it.
Right.
That Canadian smoke. Whatever that stuff, when there was a whole bunch of smoke and it was closing stuff down, they shut down our shoot the day I was supposed to go in there because of that. And then I was just like, it's. And then the casting director, she was just like, you were so on point. Like, anything I needed, you asked. Like, the next time, just come back. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, you know what? All right, I'm going to try everything that because you know how, like, as a person, sometimes you might, how can I say it? It's like you get mad where you're not at, right? But sometimes when you really look back at it, you didn't do everything that you could have, and you can't until you take accountability. You ain't ever gonna realize that. So it's just like basketball, right? So like, I didn't make it on the high school team, but were you running every day? Were you doing drills? Because Kobe, he didn't leave the gym and stuff like that.
Yeah, people was partying while he was still taking the shots.
So I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna get this real. I'm going to do headshots. I'm going to go crazy. Then I get on backstage and then stuff like that. Because I was like, I ain't ready for actors access. I'm going to just see how this goes.
Right.
Man, I landed I did 8 movies all last year. One of them, it was this guy named Cap Hill because they put my song in this movie called Bundles, and shout out to Bundles. It's on BET and BET Plus. Put my song in it, and then the song ended up being on the trailer.
That's fine.
So when he came back and I just seen the production, and I'm just like, oh man, hey, when next time you got a movie, I want to audition. I didn't even say put me in it, because a lot of people, when you know somebody, it's like, put me in it, put me in it. I know you probably go through it hey, Jay, put me in it, put me in it.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I want to go through the whole I know them like I know you.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
for
just
sure.
I'm like, I'm gonna go through the whole process, and then when they uploaded that they're casting, I didn't even call him. I just did my email, sent everything they asked for, got the audition, did the whole process, and I ain't asked for a single handout because that's not what I was raised on. Then I got to roll into that, and it's called Seeds. It hasn't dropped yet, but that's gonna be a big one. That was gonna be a big one.
Yeah, I love how you're saying that your morals and how you grew up, right? Because it's like, I'm gonna still work for it. You might be my man's and everything like that, but I still want to work for it because that's all I know, right? Because like I said, you reap what you sow. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, it's like, if I know I'm working hard towards this, I know something is gonna come out of it. So I guess with this whole experience, like networking, right? How vital is that in your field of work?
Man,
you know what I'm saying? How vital is that?
I go back to Flowers, bro. All them days I used to skip, all the times I was talking to the cool kids, the trap kids, the geeks, everybody. Because that was the one thing about me that I didn't even know that I was prepping. Like you said, you don't know certain preparation. I didn't know I was prepping myself for networking because back then I could literally talk, and still now to this day I could literally talk to anybody.
Right.
And I used to see me, these people, this hallway, but I used to come to school with that in mind. Like, of course I went to class sometimes. Should have went more. But
we love the transparency. It's
I
all
should have
good.
went more.
For sure.
And I'm gonna just say that because kids watching.
But for sure.
But I didn't know I was prepping myself. I didn't even know that was called networking.
Right, yeah.
Because some of those same, just like me and you now.
Right.
I'm on this podcast, this great podcast, because we networked back then.
For sure.
And we developed stuff then.
Yeah, we developed a relationship. Yeah.
You didn't know until after school and years later,
right,
how them different relationships that you built, even just skipping a class with somebody and they can see the real you. Because that's the thing where a lot of people and rappers and anybody, like, people know, especially us, because you was very popular back then too.
Yeah.
And I gotta get to that in 1 second. Like, people don't understand like how much the impact you make on somebody in those real times. Because a lot of people, when they blow up, they know that person's faking, because like all the people you went to school with, they know the real you. They don't know the character that you made up and that person got successful. So it's easy to be like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I know some people, because it's like back then it was Michael. Before high school, like around the 9th grade, it was Michael, Mike, this. Eventually in there, it was Mike Swiezo out of nowhere. Then even down to the point where a couple times they called me down to the guidance office as Mike Swiezo. And then like if somebody don't even know that person and they just calling me Swiezo, it's like, I know you don't know me, because everybody knows me, the real me.
Right, the real you.
So that's why a lot of people, I feel like they support everything that I'm doing, because I make sure I try, because back then I never even had quality that like, I just had like cameras laying around the house and like that stuff. And in the moment like the pandemic hit, that was the first time I ever bought like real equipment.
Right.
And that's, what's that, 2019 was pandemic?
Yeah, well, 2020.
2020?
Yeah.
So 9 years, 10 plus years, because I started kind of like middle, early high school. All that time after the fact, I've never had an editing software. I was using free trial, video pad, and all that stuff. I never had a real camera. And then I waited till the pandemic, and then I got blessed with the money from Sky, and I really did something with it.
Right. You turn nothing into something.
Yes,
and
always.
That's and that's the notion of it, right? Because I could look at you and be like, oh yeah, you know, he was lit. He was going to be the one. Da 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 da. But like I said, the notion that you just kept trying stuff.
And it's dark, bro. It's dark.
It gets lonely, because like I said, it's like that big stage that you feel like, okay, bet this is the moment, but it's like, bro, little do y'all know. Like, little do y'all know what it took for me to do this. How many no's? How many yeses? How many no's? Yeses.
This is the biggest part, and I think this is why another reason why people really understand it. Like, some people remember, like when I say it's dark times, like some people remember me outside gas stations asking for change.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even say begging, but I knew, I still, even in them times, like even when I was homeless, even when it wasn't looking bright, I knew I was going to be, and I'm still not where I want to be, but I see the path that I'm on, and it's lining up.
And the reason why people invest in you is because they know that you can get it done.
Get it done.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they knew that you could get it done. Like, even me, myself, I was like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could have sat there and been like, yeah, man, I know Swiezo, that's a bet. Saying, could I get a free ticket? No, I'm paying for it. Mm-hmm. Oh, nah, man, like, download the music. Yeah, I'm going to download the music, but I'm going to support him too. Mm-hmm. Oh, bet, he got a show. Oh, yeah, bet, send him more. I'm going to buy a ticket. Yeah. Because that's what it means to me. That's how you fully support somebody. You invest into what they have going on, either he or she got going on.
And y'all don't know how y'all invested into me even back then, right? It wasn't the whole things of like the support, and I love the support, and I really fed off that, and that really boosted my character. But you, Montez, Ziploc Damo, ISO, y'all inspired the music for me, because all of y'all were doing music before we even knew what music really was like. Right. So I didn't even put two and two together back then. And I looked at all y'all like legends, because it was like, I was go out. Like, I didn't care about rap music or nothing like that. Right. And to see y'all doing it, it was like, wow. It was like, that was inspiring to me. And that's why I looked at like, dang, like, okay. And that's where it was like, I was shooting like Montez, and Montez went through different Money Man, Slim the Snapbacker, all that. I was shooting with Ziploc Damo. Right. Ziploc Damo, it was the first person that even introduced me to just things that you don't know. Right. So he was like, back then, Ziploc Damo was recording music himself. Right. Like, and that just shocked my mind, because every time I ever heard about that, it was a studio. Right. You know, like even with the bands. Right. It was like, you go to hear Music Junkies and all this. Right, like that. But I literally seen Ziploc Damo. We used to record in my car. Like, he used to have a laptop, and back then, and he mixing and mastering. I still didn't even know what a mix and master was, but he just showing me all this stuff, and I'm like, wow. And his stuff, everybody used to, because at a point, he was like top quality.
Yes.
With the freestyles and all that. He was recording all that stuff himself back then.
Yeah, he definitely was one of them ones, and he definitely inspired me a lot too. Like I said, I felt like the thing that was so organic about just, it's like you had to be there. Like you just had to be at Flowers. That's the best way I could explain it. Like you just had to be there, but you realize how everybody was feeding off of each other, and everybody had different avenues, different lanes.
I'm just mad. I'm not mad because I think that's what drove it more. Like in a sense, we had like a arts division. It was a lot of different arts, but like, cause Flowers was a science and tech school.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a science and tech school, so like that was the main focus.
Right.
But when you look back and see how many people like came from the Flowers umbrella,
yes,
and it's amazing.
Yes.
And it was like the point back then, I didn't know what people was going to do. I just knew everybody was going to do something.
Right, facts.
You know
and everybody
saying?
was just figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? From the media production, Miss Jones class, that was a very vital class for me, TV production and all of that. And I learned so much from that, man.
And she broke me down one time too. Like she introduced me into professionally knowing stuff.
Yeah.
Because this was the thing. She came in there and somebody brought me to her class. I never even had her class. But somebody brought me to her class and they was like, yeah, this is such and such. He doing this, everybody. Because, everybody talking at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he doing the skits, he doing this, doing that. And you edit your own stuff? I'm like, yeah. And then she was like, I was like, yeah, I know how to do stuff with green screen. Oh, it's chroma key. I'm like, chroma key? She was like, yeah, that's the proper terminology of what you trying to convey. And I'm like, oh shit, like, what
like I just learned a new word,
yeah,
SAT word of the day.
Because that was the thing, being self-taught, I can tell you, show you, but when it comes down to talking to those people with the bag and all that stuff, I can't corporately express myself.
And that's what's very, very important. And I think that networking, like you said, is key, man. And so from that pivot, man, I know that you have all of this stuff going on. So you being in these productions to now actually having your own production company, like what does that feel like for you, bro? Because I think, for the people that's like, man, they won, know what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny because like everything goes back to them times. Like, Swiezo Productions wasn't a production company. Everything that I ever done, like I got this company that I did with music videos. It's abbreviated, but it's Earth, Universe, and Knowledge Films, or Earth, Universe, and Knowledge, and it's called Earfucks, and I was like, oh, that just sounds more attention grabbing. My bro Aaron and E-Man, they had the company Future History Labs, and we were doing a lot of gigs together, and I was like, because they got everything down with like corporate, and Aaron's really good with like just their skill set is like out of this world. And my skill set can compete, but we wasn't in competition with each other. But they already had the foot into like, doors I couldn't just get into because maybe it's the way I look. Maybe it's just the PG County side. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they was already in them doors. And when this was like the first time in a long time that it's ever happened. As soon as we like put the idea and it was in motion, everything clicked.
Wow.
Everything went in. Because in a team, I'm always that team player with like, pick what you want to do and I'm going to do whatever I can, even if I got to pick up the slack on anything else. And we're going to make sure this shit runs. Because music taught me a lot of different things that I haven't seen in the independent movie world. It's like we're doing merch, and I learned how to do merch through music. I learned how to like content. Sometimes you might see an independent film, they might put out a 2-minute, 3-minute long trailer, and everything and what it's about, but you're not really that interested in seeing it.
Got you.
I'm doing teasers and trailers. Like I want you to like. Every teaser we drop, most people don't even know what it's about, but they're subscribed to it and they really want to see it.
Right.
So it's kind of just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's if I can go back and tell my younger self, like, just calm down, because you know what I'm saying? Stuff's gonna be okay. Because like I studied Tubi, like before we even did it, I studied Tubi for like 3 years. I remember when it just had like kung fu flicks on it.
Got you.
And the one thing that showed me, and I was like, man, I gotta get over there, is it was a Super Bowl and they had like a primetime commercial. And I was like, hold up. It made me really go look into it. And then that's when I learned like Fox owns Tubi and all this other stuff. I was like, what? Now they're at like 75 million active subscribers on a free site.
Right.
I was like, what?
Right.
I need to get over here. So like we put everything in place. And just doing it, bro. Like, we ain't have no budget for this. Every actor, like, it's 2-3 actors in here. Now they're actors. OCA Stacks, Ethan Spalding. Met them in the music.
Yeah.
I met them in
Shout out
the
to
music.
Ethan, man. That's I ain't gonna lie. That's like my right hand, man. Cause I ain't gonna lie, man. My uncle Authentic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. That's my uncle. That's my uncle Authentic, man. And like I said, I know him and Ethan Spalding was doing shows like a mug from the Howard Theater to Fillmore and all that, man. So like, yeah, man.
So
Ethan's
networking is crazy because like everybody else, like the actors and actresses that's in this, I met them as an actor on different sets.
Wow.
And I literally was like, look, y'all, I'm coming to you and I'm telling you I'm not going to sell you no dreams. I ain't got, like everybody else, though. Like, I ain't got no money to do this.
Right.
But when the money comes, it's that pitch. When the money comes,
right,
we're going to be good. But I can promise you I'll get you some headshots. I can promise you the footage is going to be crazy. I can promise you, like, this will be beneficial.
Right.
And every single last person that took that risk, they are so happy now.
Yeah, and they invested, and that goes to your character. It's not about your reputation and, oh, yeah, he got thousands of followers or X, Y, and Z. It's the fact that they know that you're in them trenches and you working. They know that anything that you put your name to, you making sure that my brand is protected. And I know that I'm going and giving you 100%. That's why they're invested into you. So this whole notion, man, and I like the movie No Safe Haven, man, like, I know you, yeah. See, he merged up, y'all. He merged up. Nah, he's too merged up out this joint.
Merged up.
So like this whole notion of no safe haven, man. For one, I think I want to salute you. I know that, like I said, the premiere is coming up and everything. I salute you because I think every time you're on the screen, whether it be a play or a movie, in my opinion, you're always displaying some type of range. You're always showing someone another gear you can take something to. Regardless of, like I said, from the characters you play, the productions and things like that, you're always showing somebody a different side. So what was the motivation behind this No Safe Haven, and how did this kind of come about, man?
The motivation behind this is it was like we got to get into this Tubi space because I feel like the streaming wise of like independent films, they're having that time where it was like 2008, buy Bitcoin now for 50 cents.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I am so mad I missed that.
I missed it too. You ain't the only one.
I know, but like now with stuff like that, like how you're doing your podcast, like you're still in the stages of where we're still figuring out what podcasting, talk shows, and all that stuff looks like for the future.
Right.
But you doing it now, that's like buying Bitcoin at 50 cents.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to get a leg up.
So that's what I'm doing with the movies. And I was like, man, I know how to put people in the room. I know how to do an event. I know how to do all this stuff just through doing it with music. And the one thing that I think I have that with my fan base, and they really support, and they just like whatever I'm doing.
Right.
It's not like if I was like, I'm about to go be a painter, they'll come watch me paint.
Right.
And it's not to be cocky or nothing like that, but I think I have them more invested in, like you said, the brand.
Yes.
They know it's going to be quality, and they just love what I'm doing. So what happened was I was like, man, I'd be on set listening to these budgets like 100K, 50K, million, this, and I'll be looking at the product. I'll be like, damn, it's all, you know how it's always feeling like when you try to do music, like if I just had the label, and if I just had the budget. And I was like, no, like everything I did, I created a fan base in high school off of setting my camera up on a computer desk or having my little brother hold the camera. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about like what's somebody going to say about the quality. I didn't think about it. They subscribed to, like, they enjoyed it. Okay, now I got the team with some quality. We all, over the course of the year, invested into our own equipment. I was like, why can't we do a movie for whatever the budget we got that's in our pocket right now?
Right.
We can do it. And we put our heads together and we was like, what's a low-lift story that can be impactful? So I'm going to tell you, because it's the first time I ever get a chance to speak about it. So No Safe Haven, it's about 4 friends. They want to celebrate one of the friends excelling in life. So they go to an Airbnb. You know how everybody does an Airbnb, and they want to celebrate, and they get caught up in a home invasion.
Wow.
It's deep. And my biggest thing was with all this, I'm like, because, you know, everybody, especially on Tubi, this is what I saw too. Like, not every, because I can't generalize it like that, but most black people, they're going to do the same stories. It's the same get up, you know, all that stuff. And I was like, I'm a very creative dude. I'm trying to see, like, what if Quentin Tarantino was from PG County?
Wow.
What if, Jordan Peele was from
PG County?
PG County.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What does that look like?
Right.
And that's what we aiming for. Like, what if Quentin Tarantino directed Paid in Full? Now, how different would that be? It might not be the same hood classic, but it's just like, what is that? Because it's not, everything ain't the same.
Right.
Everything ain't this trap story, and then everything ain't that men are hitting they women, and everything ain't just the drama.
Right.
And I like gumbo. All my projects got to be like a gumbo, where it's like, you don't just get one thing.
Nah.
The thing about it is, the promotion, it's a thriller, it's got scary elements, and when we kill somebody in a movie, we really like kill them like it's horror. But this movie's actually really funny. And anybody knowing me, it's got
it's got to have some humor. Yeah, for sure. It's like, okay, like, don't touch the stove. Yeah. I touched it anyway. Yeah, so, like, I'm going to go ahead and laugh.
I've been looking back at the edits for the movie. It's everybody who likes a movie will like it.
That's dope.
And everybody who loves horror will like it. People that like comedy will like it. Thrillers like it. Dramas like it.
Dope.
So I always like to do that, because that's what Swiezo Land was. Like, when I was doing my music, and like, because nobody would book me to do anything with music, which was crazy, but I understood it. I said, fuck it, I'm going to book myself.
Right.
With me, Jewelry Boy, that's Montez, Juan, my cousin Jacine. And then all of them, because, you know, we grew up tight-knit. Everybody from around my way, Tez, Jacine, Juan, we brothers and cousins, everything. We started throwing Swiezo Lands, man. Like, we was really turning, like, lounge, like, shout out Miss Velvet Lounge. Rest in peace, Velvet Lounge. But we turned that into, like, a theme park.
Yeah.
And we was making the notion, and then started getting booked. I was moving. I didn't understand a lot of it. I got a sponsorship deal from a local liquor company, and it was just moving. But I was like, I'm doing that same thing with the movies right now.
Nah, for sure. Like when it comes to the stature and what you're doing, it's like a high volume. But like I sat there and said earlier, bro, like whatever you put your hands on, knowing and being that visionary, bro, like that is so vital. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, and I hope this doesn't go over everybody's heads. Everybody has eyes, but everybody does not have your vision.
Exactly.
So like
that's why I don't get mad at nobody.
You can't get mad at people for it, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like I'm in competition with myself. I owe myself some time. I know where I was slacking at. I know where I was goofing off at. So I know what I need to do to get, you know, not necessarily speed up things, but this is how intentional I am about this. I'm gonna nurture my baby. Like my company is my baby.
Yeah. It took me a very long time to just grasp that. And then any kid, because, you know, it starts with the youth. I wish that they like put something out there for you to grasp that. Like somebody can come up to you, right, and got $1 million idea. And then Shark Tank really let me know this, right? Mm. Everybody that comes on Shark Tank, you're sitting in front of the biggest people with the biggest bag. Yeah. They got these ideas, and some of them times they might shit on you.
Right.
But this is the thing what I learned every time, like just the fact that you got like 80% of the people, just the fact that you got on Shark Tank and they didn't accept, they're getting a deal.
Yeah.
Just like, what was that, the Ring camera?
Yeah.
They talked endless stuff about the Ring camera. It just wasn't for them to see.
Right.
The people that get it. And that's where in my teams, like even for this movie, like I don't let them, like I don't want to hear about football. I don't want to hear about this. We working on this movie.
Right.
And I need everybody around me like to move like that.
Right.
Because it's like that's how we're gonna get it done. And I'm a workhorse. So it's like when I was on set, and shout out to Karen Cooley, she had a job. She quit her job on set. We put in like a 24-hour day, one day on set, and they'll fall asleep. They'll just be there, and we really getting it done. So shout out to everybody on the cast, man. It's been a big thing for us.
No, that's beautiful, man. I love to see the fruit that you're constantly like what God is doing in your life, bro, and how you're just being obedient throughout the process, and then him literally sending the people to execute the plan. That's the beautiful part. And what I realize is it's literally the people that you've invested with. I'm saying, let's say, for example, like I said, going back to the music, like the people that were around the way, the people that you already knew that were invested into you. You've seen them do dope things. It's like, we can do dope things together. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be on a team where it's just one winner.
No,
that's not cool,
and that's never
bro.
been that's
yeah,
never
that's what
been
I'm
my thing because,
right.
And I think it was me getting into team sports early. You know, it's like if we all win, we all win. If we all lose, we all lose. No
right.
matter what happens. So having that in AAU never stopped until you get out of it. So like that was really instilled into me. So I really want everybody to win. That's just like the same thing. Like when I started moving, and that's what I want everybody to understand, like what's ordained or what's supposed to happen will happen. If you're doing something and it don't seem to work out sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes, that means you should be trying something else or do the pivot. Yeah. Because like this, when I get out into acting, everything started just rolling. Doors open, and I aligned myself with what I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
And sometimes you're only supposed to do it for a season. Like sometimes, you know, you might start off as a rapper, but then you might end up owning a record label.
Yeah, because like I said, for me, I feel like God was always saying like, yeah, Jay, you're going to use your voice. Mm-hmm. The rapping may be a season, sometimes, some years, but now you can transition, and all the stories that you've learned by doing it, all that experience, you can now take it, and I can still utilize it and
I got
still
a
use
question
you
for you.
for another way.
I got a question for you. So I know it's funny because it's just like even when I see you go viral for it, like number one, how does it feel to be called a Wallow clone? And then not even just being the Wallow clone, right? You were positive before Wallow even was on, when he was going through his street stuff. And
yeah.
You've been J Flow.
Yeah, I've been
Is Wallow the J Flow clone? Because he's doing what
it's crazy,
he's
man.
Late to the game.
It's crazy, man. You know, I always told myself, like, bro, when I started it, you know, like I said, I didn't even know who he was, right? Yeah. And it's like, yo, okay, even with the whole notion of it, it's like, all right, I'm moving in the direction, he moving in the direction, and like, we linked up for the first time, and it was funny. Shout out to Gilly, because Gilly was like, man, that's your cousin, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, why you leave him at home like that? You know what I mean? You know? And it's crazy because I'm probably getting the voice right. I don't know. But yeah, so then the first time, and then it's like the second time we linked, and then after the second time we linked, it was literally my birthday. So shout outs to Shalise, and like I said, her and Self Spits Fire, they was doing a community event, a Guns Down Prevention. Mm-hmm. And I was just talking to him, and then that's when Gilly was just recording. And then literally it was just like, yeah, I got Wallow right here, and I got Wallow right there. And then I'm like, hey, yo, that is crazy on my birthday. And then, like I said, he drops the video. My phone goes crazy. My phone is just literally like, hey, bro, you made it, bro. He dropped it. Like, it's viral, bro. Like, what's going on here? And then from that moment on, like, I mean, I was always making the reels and everything like that. I never looked at it like, oh, yeah, bet I just need this stamp. Mm-hmm. But I think in that process, it was just like, bro, just to keep going. And you never know who's seeing you. Know what I mean?
But that's the thing, like, your videos, I remember you was going through the period and time of the videos. Like, I even made a song with that in the hook. Like, I just remember, even that was at a crazy point in my life. But I remember waking up every morning, bro, opening Instagram, and all this, let's get it, let's go. Hey. And I was like, yeah, bro. Like, that was just that little, even sometimes it just be that little thing, like, you know, fuck it, I'm about to go going to work today.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah, and that's what it serves as, and that's what it's like, yo. And then even from that moment on, because like even a full 180 or 360 moment, literally a 180, like, you know, Wallow was in town. This was October the 5th. He was in town. And like I said, I go to the event, and after I go to the event, he's like, yeah, man, shout out to my twin. And he talking about me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what? This is crazy.
I
but
see
this is
you
nothing but
$1
God.
million worth of game one day just because, like,
it's the energy.
It's the energy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you've always, and that's why I can always vouch for, it's not no facade or a personality with you. Like, you've always been a positive person that can go anywhere. So, like, to see you being able to flourish in high school, which led you to do other things, and where you at now with the kids, like, it was crazy for me when I got into it. I was on an administrator team. I became a youth engagement advocate in high school.
That's fire.
And even back to, like, and it didn't last that long, and I didn't do nothing bad, but, like, shout out to all the kids at Lackey High School, man.
That's what's up, though, man.
But for me, like, I remember sitting there for at least a month or two straight when my name at the top of the thing in the school. Yeah. I'm like, I can't believe that me.
Right.
Like,
that's what
I'm saying. I just remember when I was in high school, I can't remember me in this position.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like for me, it'd be moments that is still surreal, but it's like, bro, like, God qualified you. So walk into them doors and keep doing what you're doing. Like, don't even let up. It don't matter. Like, and for people to be like, yo, it's not, he even said it like, yo, it's not going to be the last time we link.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, you are the truth and things like that. And it meant a lot to me, but it was reassurance. What God was already showing me. You know what I'm saying? So like I said,
you started, and then, like, even if somebody might just even look at you like your success was overnight, which it wasn't, but like going from the phone video, you know how consistent you gotta be, Jay, just to get up there every morning, just and be positive.
Yeah.
Like, I commend you for that, because I couldn't imagine like, that's how you know when it's really in you, because you never had a time, because you know most people, when you subscribe to them and they positive, out of the blue somewhere, like, my life suicidal, this, like, he was faking. No. But you literally, I remember day after day, you got up every morning and did that. Yeah. And then you didn't let a no ever, like, swayed you. You did, like, now we in this great place, but I seen where it started.
Yeah, and like I said, I appreciate it, man, because it means a lot. A lot of people don't know, like, the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns, how to stay consistent and to stay grounded, bro, because that's what it really was for me. Like, yeah, of course I would want a team, I would want a whole bunch of people, but now I'm really learning in the season, like, the people that God is aligning you with, or the people that really wanted to see you win, they're gonna find their way.
And I used to think that all the time, and it's like, who's supposed to be here?
Yes,
because a team, like anybody can sign up for a team.
For
like,
sure.
People get drafted and all that stuff, and they go want to do this. But if we have the same common goal and we really are genuine about it, it's like a family.
Yeah,
it's gonna be there,
right?
Because, you know, no matter what, a team, I could trade your ass. You can do this. You can fall off. You know, whatever. But family, no matter if your cousin farted on your pillow or did something crazy, like stole $1 from your jeans or whatever, that's always your cousin.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it is really with us, bro. I literally feel like it's family, bro.
Yeah,
like, when I see
family.
somebody across, like, dang, bro, like, youngin' I'm supporting them. Because, like, bro, we stepped in the same building together. We definitely vibed together.
We was in the trenches.
We was in the trenches together, man. And it's a beautiful thing, bro. So, like, I'm super duper proud of you, man. And I'm gonna continue to support anything that you have, man, because it's vital.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because, like, honestly, like, I thought, like, because I been falling back from the music, and I just been so hard with the acting and the movie production and merch and stuff like that, you know, I haven't done an interview in a while. But also I knew, like, this interview would actually be genuine and I can really talk because you know me. You know every different stage.
Yes.
So you seen Mike Swiezo grow into Swiezo, and the Mike Swiezo grow into Michael the actor, and then from the actor to now these productions. But you used to see,
I seen it. Yeah,
this looks good.
Yes,
but you seen,
I see what it took to get it there. Yeah, I seen it all, and I think that's the thing. Like, I'm not surprised where you at because it's the consistency and the grind and the grit that you showed every single day. Like, you were focused on the people that were always supporting you. You never looked at it like, dang, man, you're not supporting me. Let me try to step out my character, step out my element.
So lame. I think that's so lame. Like, because this the biggest thing. Like, you're not grateful, and God will take it away sooner. Like, if He give you 20 people, those 20 people could be 2,000, 20,000 one day. But like, how? Like, just imagine. I can't see myself supporting somebody, and then they get on the internet and be like, I wish somebody supported me. And I'm like, I'm one of those 10 people that do support your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Right. So now you ain't going to get nothing from me.
Right.
And then when I'm just looking at it like, no, like, I love y'all 10 people because y'all believe in what I got. I don't care if y'all the only 10 people that ever's going to be here. The fact that I got 10 people to like something that came out of this big ass head, I'm winning.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and that's what I told myself even with the motivational videos. Because there was a point in time where it'd be like, dang, okay, likes, views, oh my gosh, nobody's seeing this. But it's like, bro, you put that, you push record on that camera, it don't matter. Because at the end of the day, that message is going to get out and it's going to come back full circle. It's not about the likes, it's not about the views, it's about the needs and it's about the love. And I know for a fact the reason why I'm so locked in is literally a part of my routine. Yeah. I don't do it, bro. I know something is wrong with me. Okay, you feel what I'm saying? Like that's how dialed down. That's how dialed in I'm in. All
that,
bro.
And
literally,
ever since the internet, because like even it's so crazy, and that's why I'm so blessed. Like I do have the moments like, what if our year in high school was like now? Like I do have those moments like we'll all be like some super multimillionaires. Like, but. We still are. It's just a different path, and I think like people going to see like you said, we laid out the foundation and really showed the grind.
Yeah,
but like I'm just so blessed that we were in that era that got a chance with the classic, and we're still heavily into the new.
Yeah, and we're able to adapt. We're really in the sweet spot. It's like when I tell people like, okay, if you have to have like something for people to walk on, it's like, yo, we are the bridge.
I remember I remember in high school when Instagram first dropped.
Yeah,
and I remember I couldn't get on Instagram because I had a Droid. Yeah. Like I remember getting on Instagram and seeing it. And I remember seeing Instagram from that point.
Remember, it was the old school camera.
The old school camera.
The old school camera.
And like just filters and just pictures.
Right.
And then to see where it's at now.
Yeah.
And we were there to witness that.
Yeah.
We witnessed like from dial-up to Wi-Fi to MacBook Pro and all this other stuff. Like,
so it was a time and it was an era where we're able to adapt and adjust. And I think that even for myself, we're looking at social media, it's like, yeah, man, like treat it as a business. That's my advice to everybody. Treat it like a business because your product and what you put out there for people to see is very, very important. And really just be authentic and genuine when you're putting things out. Because people can see, like I said, like you're a walking brand, I'm a walking brand. We all are walking brands. We just have to know exactly how to utilize it, man.
And the consistency, because like you said, because I've seen this way more now. Because like, growing up, it's about who you know. That's true to a certain degree, but I even feel like that's turning, bro. Because like, it's people out here that just are so super consistent. Like you said, like every day I got up, did a video. That's somebody right now doing that. But then one hits, then the next one hits. Now they're speaking at conferences and doing this, and now they're a streamer, and now their YouTube's monetized.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what they was going to do in life. And that's why I like a lot of people dislike, like, because, TV ain't the same, radio ain't the same, music, everything ain't the same. But I'm like, this is really pushing it that everybody who has an idea can be successful.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I think, and like I said, you're a student, going back to how you were sitting there saying with Tubi, right? I think that you just put me on game with that, because that you literally looked at an infrastructure, you looked at a business model, and you felt like, okay, bet. In addition to the production that I'm producing and everything that I'm producing in this particular moment, I already know where I can sector and be successful at.
Because I look
Some
at
people
it,
don't look at it that way. Some people are like, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and make this product. Hey, man, you know, I'm thinking Netflix. I'm thinking
exactly.
this. I'm thinking that. Know what
But
I mean?
this is what I was thinking. Like, okay, and I look at Netflix and Hulu until they do something different a little bit. I heard it's talks of as being different. Like Hulu's supposed to be buying independent films, but I look at them like major labels. You know, Netflix and all that stuff. That's like a major label. When I saw Tubi, I was like, oh, how much are they paying for and then like for these, however they do the breakdowns, like ad breaks and stuff like that. It's like they're paying that. Okay. And then I'm looking at it like, oh, you don't have to pay for this. Okay. So everybody got a smart TV. You can get a smart TV from Walmart right now, Roku and all that stuff. So all they got to do is type in Tubi. Okay. All they have to do is press play on it. Okay, it's the same grind as YouTube, but it pays more.
Yeah.
Okay. There's good stuff. There's some gems on Tubi, but you know how it got its fame was low budget,
right?
Like people making fun of it.
Right.
Those people making fun of it still drove people to go see it, and they're flourishing.
Right.
So I was like, wow. So it's either it could be really bad and make me successful, and it could be really good and make me successful. And I was like, I have to be there, because no matter what, my best attempt, my worst attempt is going to be better than some people's best attempts.
For sure, man.
And I was like, what if I bring like everybody who's been seeing all the content, they be like, this don't look like no Tubi movie. And I'll be like, but it is. So it's like,
it's like, and it's like, I got you right where I want you.
Yeah,
you know
sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely dope, man. So, man, this was a great conversation. Great conversation, man. I felt like it was definitely a long time coming, for sure, bro. Definitely a long time coming. So, what is your advice? I think you already highlighted it a little bit to your younger self, but then to the people that's out there that, you know, may not know how to chase a dream, don't know how to start, what would you tell those people, man?
Man, I would tell them, bet on your motherfucking self. Like, stop looking for somebody to come save the day, bro. Like me, we come from a place where ain't nobody coming to save the day, bro. And like, if you believe in it, really believe in it. Like, if you an artist, like, you should love your music more than anybody. Like, it's no reason why. Do you, like, some rappers, you be like, do you even like your music? Because it's like, you give up on it. Like, if you love it, go for it. And consistency is everything. Don't ever give up. Even if you got to pivot over here for a second, move back. Because a lot of people, they want to move like a cruise ship, and then in your up and coming stages, entrepreneurial stages, all these things, you gotta move like a jet ski while everybody moving like a cruise ship, because a cruise ship is going to take a whole bunch of things to just turn. You seen with the Titanic, it couldn't turn fast enough. But if it was on a jet ski, it was just like, yeah, well, iceberg. And that's how you gotta do in life. You in the middle of this ocean trying to get to the other side of the ocean, but the cruise ship just moving like this and can only do this. And if any minor thing happened, it's gonna take a lot. But that jet ski, I just zip. And you're going to get to that goal. And remember, with your goals, like my grandfather, he told me this at a young age and always stick with me. And don't quote me wrong, because it might be more ways or less ways. But there's only one place in America that's like a million ways to get to. That's Cleveland, Ohio. That's one of the only places on the American map where you can literally take many different routes to get there.
Wow.
So get to Cleveland, Ohio. Don't let nobody tell you no. Like, this is the thing. The people that doubted you, they will be back to be like, I should have listened. The people that you're trying to get, you shouldn't have to do too much for people to get on board. So if you present something to somebody and they're not on board, it's not for them. It's not for them. It's like motivation. It's like church. It's like all that. Like to motivate somebody, if I gotta do all this extra stuff you just not receiving the message. The message not for you today. But I'm leaving the breadcrumbs, so when you're ready to get around to it, it'll be there.
Nah, for sure, man. I think for the people that's out there, man, don't be afraid to start. I'm living, like, we are both living proof that all you have to do is start. Have the plan for sure, but just start. If it's you wanting to be a streamer, if it's you wanting to be a content creator, if it's you, anything that you feel is essential to your life in doing, you can literally just start. Because like I sat there and said, man, July 5th, 2020 is when I started doing the motivational videos. Then the reels came out. That was new. 15 seconds. Had to study that. Boom. Then after that, November 6th, 2020, started the podcast. November 6th about to come around. That'll be 4 years with Grind Hard, Dream Big. Doing not only podcasts and community engagement, helping the youngins, the summits, Dave and Buster's, my mentors, Kimberly Marshall and Jeffrey Young. Like, it takes time, but guess what? Once I started moving, God started sending the people.
Sending the people because, like,
that's what happened, man.
Everybody's walking around with one of these in their pockets. Which one is on? These. Everybody's walking around with one of these in their pocket. And with AI and all this stuff, it's no excuses no more, y'all. Like, they got studios on their phone. Editing's on the editing software. And maybe you can't, and that's the thing, maybe they can't afford a podcast set up like how we're in today. But you can afford a ring light. You can afford some microphones that'll be good enough and just start.
Yeah.
Like everybody, like, and then what they talk about, is her name Issa Rae. Like people just be like that with me. Like they be like, she just started making videos and then got insecure. Like the
yeah.
Insecure.
Right.
So it's like, just start. Like you said, everything will fall. Because most people with the money, and people don't understand this, most people, they want to see you do it yourself first. Like, how does it work? Do you know if it's going to work? You want me to invest all this money and you don't even know if it's anything for ROI. Right. They don't think you don't know anything. Like you got a dope shirt, but can you even move one?
Right. And that's the thing, man. So, like I said, man, there's a lot of gems that we drop, man. Like I said, man, my brother, Michael, Swiezo, whatever y'all want to sit there and call this, man, I'm going to just sit there and tell you that this is a successful brother, a millionaire, a pioneer in the DMV for sure. And he's beyond that to me, you know what I'm saying? Just because he resides in the DMV and it could be a local thing, it's definitely going to be a global thing.
Global.
Man. And he never settled because he always understood. And
gotta know your worth, man. And shout out to my Cuzzo's brand, man. Get it up in here, man.
Yeah, and with that being said, y'all, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
A stamp.
Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate you,
Appreciate you, brother, all the time.
All love.